Welcome back, Fun Fam! And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to follow the Bradley's Fun. This is the Daily Dish with me, Ron E. Bradley, and I hope that wherever you are, you're having a phenomenal Friday morning or whatever day you're watching this, because you could be watching this on the replay any day of the week. But I hope that wherever you are, you're having a phenomenal day. Morning, evening, afternoon, night, middle of the night, 3 a.m., whenever you wake up to watch this, it doesn't matter to me. Or maybe you're just in a different part of the world. Like, for example, Fairbricks Studio is over there. He says morning, afternoon, because it's a different time of the day over there across the pond. As they say, across the pond. Why am I getting another ad? I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am so tired. I got my caffeine cup. This is my Dr. Strange cup. Oh, it's strange. Look at that. How's everybody out there, man? You need to chat away and let me know, how was your Christmas? How was everything? I'm trying to get back into it. It's you know, in starting the show this year, there are certain things that I just did not take into account, like the fact that this technically means that I'm part of the media now, not with like a media license. I don't know how it works, but I'm on WDW Pro all the time, and of course that Park Place and T3PO and Lorena's channel. I've been on Culture's channel, which means, of course, that I guess I'm technically part of the new media, and I didn't really take into consideration what that means, because the media typically works 365 days a year. And so as Christmas time approached, I didn't really think about the fact that I don't really get a day off at Christmas time. I gave myself a day off this year, but next year things are going to change, because it's going to be, it's so different. It's becoming different. Where did this go? I thought that was supposed to open up. Trying to open up certain assets for the show this morning, and not everything is necessarily where I want it to be, but you guys are right where you are supposed to be, and I appreciate you coming in. And let's start saying hi to everybody. I don't know if you guys are awake yet. I can tell you for a fact that I am not particularly that awake yet. I am still in a Christmas hangover, if you will, not from alcohol. I don't drink alcohol, but just from the fact that on Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, I stayed up for 24 plus hours. So I think I woke up, I don't know, 6-7 o'clock in the morning or so on Christmas Eve day. And then I was busy all through the night, let's just say helping Santa Claus. And so I did not get to sleep on Christmas Eve until Christmas morning. So I didn't go back to bed until like 6:30. Fell and sort of semi-slept from about 7 to 10. But you know how that is when you like go back to sleep and you're not really sleeping, you're just like half sleeping. So Christmas Day, and I was actually fine on Christmas Day. That's what's so funny. Like that first cycle of it, I had taken the extra caffeine I needed to get through, and that first cycle of it. By the way, can you guys hear me okay? I haven't checked my sound. Going Shogi says I'm still exhausted. I'm still exhausted. So Christmas Day was fine, and then yesterday was the day after Christmas. I was exhausted, still didn't quite sleep right. I haven't slept right the last couple nights because once you get off your cycle, especially at my age, used to be able to recover from these things a lot faster, but at my age I don't really recover anymore. So I am fortunate because when I look at my face, I don't particularly have wrinkles, especially the way it shows up on the screen here. So facially, I have not really started to show that I'm 53 years old yet, which is a good thing. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I think those things help as far as skin is concerned. But in the year 2025, I plan on going full throttle into fitness and health. You probably won't see the effects of it right away, but hopefully I will. I want to bring more energy to my shows and more energy to you and have more energy to do more on YouTube throughout the day. So good morning to Tom F. He was the first in the door. And so I said good morning back to him, and he said good morning back to me. And then Nightbot, who is just a bot, is helping things out. Nightbot is a bot moderator, and I haven't adjusted Nightbot in forever. There are other bots like Stream Elements and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I should get rid of the bots completely. I don't know what to do with that. It's something that I started last year and haven't checked into it, and so it just comes up. Oh, and hey, there's me from my watch channel. Ron E. Bradley. Hello, good morning, everybody. Little Mouse 20, or no, wait, I don't see a 27 on there. Wait, Little Mouse, is that still you, even though there's no 27? You'll have to let me know in the chat if that's still Little Mouse 27, but just as Little Mouse. And then OCDD93 came through the door and said good morning, and Go and Shogi are so Tom F and Go and Shogi, a couple great wrenches through the door. Little Mouse is here, and I saw OCDD 93D. DD, not Diddy. You should it should say OCDD 93D. But then you might give people the wrong idea then, because then there'd be a double D. We don't want that. Let's see. We've got Andy WIC. Good morning. I need coffee. Boy, I understand. Cheers. Everybody cheers to the screen and the chat, and we'll drink our caffeine together. Normally, I would have a full cup before the show, and I forgot this morning. So, Fabric Studio from across the pond says hello. And good morning and good afternoon. And Jeremy Heath, another great wrench. Dan's Life with the Kingdom, another great wrench. All here. Appreciate you guys wrenching for us today. Jeremy Heath says, nice goblet. And we want to make media great again. Well, we got to get rid of the view first. Juliet says, good afternoon, everyone. I was in the play Romeo and Juliet, but for the record, I was neither Romeo nor was I Juliet. I was the monk father. What was my father? Something. Anyway, it was a long time ago. I was in high school. I was very skinny. I played a tall, skinny, elderly monk. And Jeremy says hello to Juliet. Go and Shogi says, I am still exhausted. My sleep pattern is abnormal. Ching chong. The new view. Us. Yes. So, Little Mouse, let me know in the chat if you are Little Mouse 27 and you just dropped the 27 from your, because I'm curious. I'd love to know what the 27 used to mean and what it doesn't mean now. I think it's a scene. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. My face is like, pray for Culture Casino too, because Culture is overcoming a bit of an illness from what I understand. And Raf is doing better, American Raf, so that's good news there. But we are continuing prayers for them, and of course for Tom F and his dear wife Linda. Prayers for them and everybody that needs it. We all need prayers, right? We are all tiny little insignificant mortal beings that God loves each one of us as more than we can possibly fathom, which is amazing because we feel like we're insignificant, but we each have a significance to our Heavenly Father that we cannot even begin to fathom or comprehend because it's beyond our ability to do so. in our mortal form. Well, before we get going with anything else, we want to talk about something that we love to do on this show. I love to celebrate you if you're watching. And what does that mean? Well, you guys make it possible for me to be here and do this for you. And it's a passion of mine. I love doing it. I love being here for you. Love doing the lives in the park, lives wherever, and then also putting putting media on the YouTubes, right? So creating the content. And because of that, I love to celebrate you guys. So what does that mean? You're the energon that helps this guy transform and roll out of bed in the morning, even when I don't have energy like mornings like this. And you guys do that for me. So I like to celebrate you. So anytime somebody drops a super chat, super thing, super sticker, becomes a member of the channel, drops gifted memberships, there's a super chat so there's a PayPal, buy me a coffee, even if somebody buys merchandise from the store, or we're going to talk about the buy me a coffee thing. Actually, that's my Patreon. It's not called Patreon, it's called buymeacoffee.com, but that's a whole different thing. I'm really going to work on that next year. And that's a whole different deal than membership to the channel, because it's going to be like a backstage pass, if you will. Anyhow, for any of those things that I see happen during the show, we are going to throw down a celebration. What does that celebration look like? Well, oddly enough, I'm going to start with the long one today because I think we all need to wake up and dance. You guys ready to dance? You guys ready to celebrate? You guys ready for me to say thank you to you? Let's celebrate.
Too much? Too much? It's a perfect! Wahoo! Oh, this is too much. Give me a break. I couldn't be more excited. Okay, this anticipation is making me mental. But if they say yes, you can be on the show, I think I would go so crazy.
Can't really sleep when that's going on now, can you? Hey, I have a question. Let me see here. I put a poll up on my channel. Let's see if I can find that poll. Let's see if I can find the poll. Okay, so there's only 6 votes right now. 7 votes. I just put my. All right, so I said, just curious, would you like me to sing on the channel? And at least somebody put up, no, my ears. But I've got 71% of the people saying that you'd like me to sing. Andy W, that woke you up. I've been working on some songs. I did a short last night that I didn't put up because I realized how fat I look, and it's not pleasing to me. I look at it and I'm like, my gosh, do I really look that way? I'm so out of shape. I used to look a lot better. But I've kind of gotten into Zachary Levi and his stuff. I've been watching Chuck a lot lately and realized that he was also the voice of Flynn Rider as far as Disney is concerned. It is interesting to have that character, Flynn Rider, voiced by Zachary Levi, very much a strong Disney associated character, not even Star Wars, and not even Pixar, I don't think, even though John Lasseter was involved with Tangled. But Zachary Levi is, of course, an outed Trump supporter. He outed himself as a Trump supporter. So it's interesting to have that dynamic where, obviously for the longest time in his career, he clearly kept quiet about his political leanings, although he wasn't Republican, he was Democrat, but he was a more independent type of thinker, which is good because people should be independent types of thinkers. And he was a strong supporter of RFK Jr. And I think 2020 also, like many people, turned him around to go, what the heck is going on with our government? So anyway, I have jalapenos, shallots, and garlic dehydrating. I woke to the house smelling like pizza. Oh my gosh, I'm coming over. I just need a plane ticket to get over to California. Sounds good though, man. Sounds really, really good. Actually, our pernil, my wife's pernil was so good. She wanted me to tell you about our pernil. I don't know what she did though as far as cooking it, but it's very, very good. Anyhow, so good morning, Rhonda H. Good morning. You've come into the house. So I know a lot of you don't know this, but I was in fact a professional singer in the past. And when I say singer, not as in highlighted as a singer, I don't think I ever actually got paid. Ouch. What the heck is going on? Anyway, I was a musical theater performer. So my first professional, thanks, Shogi. My first professional gig as a singer was 1992. I worked at the Six Flags in St. Louis, Missouri. I was in the Palace show, and I was given the way that went down is after I finally got in the Palace show. That was my third audition for the Palace show. After auditioning at age 16, at 19, and 20, I got in at age 20. And very, very happy to get into that show. And I worked with some amazing people. Because of the people that I worked with, got Broadway connections and all kinds of things there. Anyway, the point is, I was paid to sing. Now, here's the funny thing. I was really into hip hop. This is 1992. So I liked boy band groups and all that kind of stuff. Aloha, Native Hawaiians worked his way through the door. Mele kaliki maka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. What is up, the Mud File? Sue is here. Good morning, Sue. So 1992, I get in the show. And once we're in the show, we start auditioning for solos. So they took each one of us, gave all the males the male solos, gave all the females the female solos, and had each one of us go through all of what would be the solos. And it was a very eclectic show that year because it was basically about American music. So it was American music from pop to country to gospel to rap. Everything was in it. Oh, wow, this is cool. Your oldest got to do Rocky Horror in the Palace Theater. That's very, very cool. I loved the theater. I loved the Palace. It was something I'd wanted to do since I was 5 years old. So that was 15 years. And at the time of my life, when I was 20, 15 years, it was a long time to wait for that. And so, excuse me, my gosh. So I get into the Palace show, and I probably told you guys the story before, but I'm hired for the show, and they give me there were two rap solos. One of them was from Rocky V. I think Rocky V was out at the time, and it was called "Go For It." And it's time for the rhyme of the bold and the gifted. Listen closely and you'll get lifted higher than you've ever been before. You get more than you're bargaining for sure. Now, life can be a trip full of trouble, but you got to stand up and fight back double. Don't let nothing hold you back. Yo, life says stop. You say go for it. Anyhow, so that was one of my solos until I ended up having to replace the MC Hammer guy and ended up doing Pray because I ended up being the blackest white guy in the cast. Oh gosh, that was funny. Anyhow, but the other solo was very cool, Jeremy. Yeah, you probably did. You probably saw the show. I have it on videotape, and I want to put it up on the channel as soon as I get a chance to digitize it and edit it. Guess I will never know how it was. I don't like those wild ride. My kids and hubby had ride it, but I never and never will. Oh, you're talking about Rip Ride Rocket. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. No big deal with the Rip Ride Rocket, but when I hear Go For It, I don't think of the Corey Feldman song. Yeah, so my other rap was Pray, but the funny thing was I was handed this sheet music for a song that was called Not Counting You, and it was supposed to be a country song. It was by a guy who I had never heard of at the time, who had the most countryest country name that I could ever see on paper, and his name was this unheard of guy named Garth Brooks. That's right. I had never heard of him when I got the sheet of paper called Garth Brooks. And so when I first was going through the sheet music for the song, I was going through it from my trained musician's mind. So I was looking at the sheet music and reading it and singing like a singer would sing it without knowing what kind of a song it was. So I was looking at the sheet music going, when loving turns to parting, I'm always the first to leave. But when it comes to heartache, I'd rather give than to receive. Begging to be taken back and swearing I'll be true has never crossed my mind, not counting you. Right, so that's the way I'm reading it. I'm going to make an adjustment here. So I'm reading it like this, and I'm like, that can't be right because, it's a country song. And so, waiting on a wish. That's funny. I can't believe they replaced I'm wishing with that crap. Anyhow, so I get my best friend Jeff, and he didn't get in the show that year, but he ended up working at Six Flags and as a tech that year. So he was out there. And he was like, I'll help you out. Let's go grab whatever the cassette was. So at the time in 1992, he grabbed the cassette. Garth Brooks single, and I can't remember what was on the back of the single, but Not Counting You was on one side of the single, and I play it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is so country. I didn't like country music. You have to remember, I did not like country music in 1992. It's funny because doing the show and doing this solo got me into it. So we play it, and I'm like, it is so twang, it is so hick, it is so backwoods, it is so redneck, it is so country. And so I'm like, at the audition, I'm going to make fun of this guy. Like, I am so going to make fun of this, and I'm just going to twang it up. So I get to the audition, and I had really worked on going from what I had just showed you to this twang version. And I didn't realize how good of a Garth Brooks impersonation I was doing because I didn't know who he was. So they play the music, and I start to sing it, and I was caricaturizing it, right? In my head, I was caricaturizing it, but they loved it, and I got the solo, and this is how it went down. When loving turns to parting, I'm always the first to leave, 'cause when it comes to heartache, I'd rather give than to receive. Begging to be taken back and swearing I'll be true has never crossed my mind, not counting you. Not counting you, I never have a heartache. Not counting you, I never have been blue. Anyway, that is kind of what I did with that. And it's just funny because I was making fun of the song and I got the solo. And then this funny thing happened. They switched the song because it was too long for the show, and they switched it to another song called Liza Jane by Vince Gill, which was a completely different style song, even though it was country, but I still had the solo. So I had to sing Liza Jane, which was a much better song for my voice at the time. But it's very different, it's much smoother. You got my number. You got my name. By the way, it's really early. I can't sing this early, so my voice is yuck. No warm-ups. But anyhow. So I'm trying to get back into singing a little bit because I've been out of it for a while professionally, and I really like the Zachary Levi song from Tangled, where he sings I think it's called Finally Seen the Light or something like that. I'm not going to sing it this morning because obviously I hear my own voice and my voice is roached right now. But it is what it is. Who moved to Ireland? Dan's Life of the Kingdom says somebody moved to Ireland. Who? Garth Brooks moved to Ireland? Garth Brooks, but yeah. Garth Brooks, I don't know what happened to him or when it happened to him. I can only assume. Yeah, I was. That's what I was going to say, Jeremy. I was going to say that I can only assume that Garth Brooks really changed his mind about things when he maybe had an invite on a particular airplane to a particular island in the Caribbean or whatever. I don't know if that's the case, but man, it just seems like there are celebrities who have kind of gone off the rails when it comes to, President Trump. I mean, if we're being honest, the last 4 years, the economy it doesn't matter that it's in an upswing now. It matters that it was killed so bad. I mean, didn't inflation get up to like 9%, but really it's been like 30%? I mean, I'll be honest with you, I remember that eggs in 2020, I could buy 5 dozen eggs for under $4. And then recently I saw them and they were like $17. That's 400% inflation. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that, Jeremy, but anyway, not supposed to be really the subject of this show. But what is the subject of the show is celebrating all of you guys. And before we start getting to the stories, it is 10:06 right now, I think we should throw down another celebration. We're going to add a lot more celebrations and a lot more fun things in the new year, because honestly, this show was never something I expected to do, and now I'm digging it. I'm here. It's daily, but there are. I want to move to also doing at least one, if not two, nighttime shows a week. It's hard to do because I'm utilized on other people's channels. But I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together because you guys are part of the, you're like 1.21 gigawatts. You're the gigawatts, you're the energon, you're all that kind of stuff. We're going to start getting to some stories here. And the first one is kind of a crappy story, I'll be honest with you, because it is about bathrooms. I shared Monday, Wednesday. I was thinking about Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are dead zones if you're looking to do another show. Thank you. I was looking at that because, so I do the show Tuesday night with Lorena typically. And the biggest thing is I got to get myself to stay awake a little bit longer and have a little bit more energy. So, but yeah, I'm thinking about that. Let's add this to the stage. So we're going to do our first news story today out of WDW News today, and it's a bathroom story. It took one full entire year to do a refurb on bathrooms behind the Pinocchio Village house in the Magic Kingdom Park at the Walt Disney World Resort here in Orlando, Florida. So let's look at this. Photos expanded Pinocchio Village House restrooms reopened after 1 year refurbishment. And this is by Shannon Ace, who, I gotta tell you, a lot of people believe that Shannon Ace is a nom de plume for Tom Corliss, but I don't know if that's the case or not. I've just heard that is a rumor. That is rumor mill stuff. You didn't hear it from me. So there's a picture of the bathroom. You know, I always wonder, I only when I'm completely alone in a bathroom when I take a picture, but it is like you wonder if somebody like walks in on you taking pictures. I'm like, why is this creepy person taking pictures of a restroom? It's for the media, people. We got to take pictures. Here it is on December the 26th. The Pinocchio Village House restrooms in Fantasyland at Magic Kingdom have reopened after an almost year-long refurbishment. The restrooms were first scheduled for refurbishment in early 2023, but didn't end up closing until early 2024. And so here is the Pinocchio Village House restroom refurbishment. The restrooms are between the Pinocchio-themed restaurant and a castle wall. Two archways lead into a small courtyard. Though this entire area was blocked off during the closure, it seems the courtyard wasn't significantly updated. It has the same stone flooring. These are a pair of water fountains, the stone walls, and yellow tan archway around the water fountains appear to have been repainted. An emergency defibrillator and a telephone are on a pair of doors in the courtyard. There's a backstage entrance. I remember when all those telephones were actually utilizable payphones. Long time ago. The Pinocchio Village House restrooms have new wood-style signs. The men's room is labeled Herren, German for men. The Pinocchio story is Italian, but Disney's version has German influence. An oval-shaped sign features a stylized version of the man symbol with a green leaf at the top. I'm amazed that that Disney has the capacity to understand what a male symbol is anymore. I mean, they actually put a dress on this woman, which is funny because, also the same outfits as many of their current male cast members. That's a whole nother thing. The women's room is labeled Demann, ladies in German. The oval sign has a woman symbol and a pink flower. Well, at least somebody at the Walt Disney Company seems to kind of know what male and female, at least symbolically, are. The restrooms were previously labeled Prince and Princess. There's a matching oval-shaped sign for the companion restroom featuring symbols for a wheelchair user, a man, and a woman. The companion restroom has a brown wood door. The signs next to the actual restroom doors feature small gable roofs and a green filigree. The edges are brown wood, while the center is pale yellow. Women and men is brown lettering. The respective symbol is also brown. Gee, I wonder why they use the tones of brown and yellow to represent bathrooms. That's kind of on the nose there, Disney, isn't it? We did notice an issue. These decals were placed over pre-existing signs. Then the new words and stylized symbols don't match up with the old ones. This means the old raised image shows through the decal in a weird way. Oh, that's... yes, I'm seeing it does, actually. Look at that picture. You can see the old... That's so funny. Wow, boy, talk about being cheap, Disney. Talk about being cheap. Wow. Inside the Pinocchio Village House, restrooms have been completely overhauled. Previously, the restrooms had plain white, blue walls, blue and gray floor tiles, speckled style doors. It was boring standard restroom. As originally announced, the restrooms have been expanded to include more stalls and sinks. The women's room has gone from 16 to 25 stalls, and men's 4 to 9. The new sinks are on columns lined up in the center of the rooms. The walls are now partially covered in gray stone tiles. The gray section is topped by stripes of blue and red tiles. A built-in trash can is next to the fire alarm near the door. And so and so and so forth. There's the baby changing station. I always loved Yakov Smirnov's joke on that. There are the... I think these are for Tim Waltz to use, if I remember correctly. But you can see the pictures as they line up there. The Pinocchio Village house. I see some new people have come through the door. My mom is here. Hi, Mom. Good morning. Feel better. We're all working on feeling better because we all have that Christmas hangover, not from the alcohol, just from the day. OMG. Wow, Disney, that's a magic bathroom. I will say, Disney usually does a pretty good job theming their restrooms and stuff. I can't fault them on that because it's, it is nice to go in a clean restroom, and they have lots of them. This one, by the way, if you're in the Magic Kingdom, if you're familiar with the Magic Kingdom, the next closest restroom down is you go towards the Haunted Mansion, and you pass Peter Pan on your left, and you pass Small World on your right, and you're heading towards Haunted Mansion. It is the Rapunzel bathrooms. So, and those are very well liked by everybody. And Rhonda H says Jeremy has officially turned into his dad. He calls it a senior moment. Hello, Kathleen. Good morning, Kathleen. Everybody's saying good morning to my moms. And Go and Shogi says, after a day of munching on greasy turkey and sugary treats, sometimes a bathroom truly can be magical. Unless there's a long line, then it's a nightmare. I will say that's the best part of Disney is Disney has tons and tons of bathrooms. Meaning that there are usually not lines to get there like there are at stadiums, for example. Those are the worst. The sign is made so sloppy. I know, like, why are you going to spend all that money refurbishing the bathroom on the inside and then make the sign sloppy? I hope they replace that soon. I would imagine it being pointed out. Now, I will say this is funny because when we point things out on this channel, WDW Pro, that Park Place, blah, 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 things don't get done. But News Today has the Pixie, has the cupcake, if you will, pass and has the ear of Bob Iger. And so they will often listen to him when he says to change. Oh, my beautiful wife is here. Good morning, baby. Good morning, everyone. She says, buenos dias. Virginia Magical Adventures, my beautiful wife is in the house. But yes, Jeremy does say, at least they identify the genders, even with the rainbow. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Oh, there's all these, look at those. There's a lot of back and forth here. Morning, Virginia. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Everybody's saying good morning to each other. I love that. We're all trying to wake up, baby. Since you haven't seen it yet, I think it's time that we throw down another. Let's do it real quick. My wife is here. My mom is here. Let's throw down another quick. Okay, I was looking for something because I wanted another quick story. And this one has to do with, well, one thing, my wife's favorite ride, or at least it was her favorite ride. I don't know if it still is, baby, but you can let me know. And that is what we like to call Fast Mountain or Space Mountain in the Magic Kingdom. Now, Space Mountain has been around since 1975. And there is something that I think that they should do with Space Mountain in the Magic Kingdom. And they haven't done it yet. I'm kind of hoping they will. Rather than spend all this money to destroy Rivers of America, they could do this with Space Mountain like they're doing in a wonderful little place called Japan. Because they're doing it in Japan, I wish they would do it here. And that is they are changing. And now, Japan Space Mountain, I understand, was very much like the Magic Kingdom Space Mountain, although there are changes being made, at least right now. Old Space Mountain mostly demolished at Tokyo Disney. And that is what we are learning about right now. So, again, by Shannon Ace, which was why we kind of think that's probably Tom Corliss doing this, unless there's somebody else named Shannon Ace that really likes to write for the WDW News Today channel. The old Space Mountain at Tokyo Disneyland has been mostly dismantled as a new version of the attraction is constructed. So this is what I really would like to see happen at the Magic Kingdom. You can see the scale of it with the buses there. This is the parking lot at Japan. But the old ride at Magic Kingdom is, in fact, old. It is celebrating its 50th year as an operating attraction in the year 2025. And it is what I like to refer to as rickety, meaning when you're on the ride, it feels like this, even when you're going fast. And, it's not smooth like Guardians of the Galaxy is smooth. I would love to see a redo of Space Mountain. In the same place that it is, I'd like to see them completely tear down the old Space Mountain that is there in the footprint. And it would be down for probably 3 years. And rebuild a brand new, bigger, better, taller, more beautiful, better operating Space Mountain in the Magic Kingdom. Well, that's what they're doing in Japan, because Japan gets all the good toys. As a Walt Disney World fan, I feel like the Joker looking at Batman from the Jack Nicholson's Joker looking at Batman as Walt Disney World looking at Tokyo Disneyland, going, where did they get such wonderful toys? Because they do. They have the wonderful toys. It's funny because through their Space Mountain, you actually see their Hollywood Tower of Terror in the background through Space Mountain, which, of course, would normally be blocked by Space Mountain. When we last reported on the construction, the tallest spires of the old Space Mountain had been removed. Now most of the exterior is gone, giving a clear look inside what remains of the attraction. We can see work from the monorail. No roller coaster tracks are visible in the former Space Mountain building, indicating most, if not all, of the actual ride is gone. Most of the remaining white paneling faces the rest of the park, so guests don't have to see too much construction while enjoying Tomorrowland. Another strip of white is on the back of the building. So you can kind of see the facade of the old Space Mountain being torn down. Pretty cool looking, actually. And I don't know if that is a fake mountain or a real mountain in the back, because it's Japan, so it could be a real mountain, but it might be a fake one. There's scaffolding at the bottom of the building and on the central support structure. Thin scrims cover parts of the scaffolding. We didn't see any crew members working on the old Space Mountain during our trip. Space Mountain closed permanently in July in Japan. It was an opening day Tokyo Disneyland attraction in 1983. It was originally based on the Disneyland version of Space Mountain, but was later updated to be more like the Magic Kingdom version. The new Space Mountain is scheduled to open in 2027. The framework of the new show building appears mostly complete, with the conical shape now clear. The first piece of track arrived in the spring, but the coaster is now almost completely blocked from view by the building and scaffolding, so you can see people working on it. Again, this is in Japan, not here, because they get all the good things over there. Some crew members were on top of the structure as a crane lowered something. No exterior paneling has been installed on the new show building yet. One of the things I want to see, I'm interrupting my own story here because I wanted to see if Culture Casino had dropped his link. It does look like he has. Okay. And so I'm going to link to him in just a minute. Some track can be glimpsed through the framework. The new ride is rumored to be named Space Mountain Earthrise. Ooh, what an interesting name. Oh, see how cool. Now this, if this turns out to look like this concept art, it will be very, very cool. There are tiers of the curving structure. Below is the concept art of the new show building and a new Tomorrowland courtyard planned for the former Space Mountains space. Why do they get this in Japan and we don't get the cool update here in the United States? Instead, they want to destroy our frontier land and rivers of America. It's so stupid. The Oriental Land Company is spending approximately 56 billion yen or $437 million on the new Space Mountain. I mean, yeah, it's because Oriental Land Company is the one doing it, and they're putting it out. It costs less than Andor, and it's probably going to get a bigger return. I would imagine a much, much bigger return. I need to see if I can fix this real quick. I'm gonna give you all the link over to Culture Casino here. I think this is it. Yes, indeed. And give Culture Casino our best when you go over there, because I know he's under the weather and yet he's still working. So prayers for Culture. But yeah, it's Journey to the Center of the Earth in the background. Okay, very, very cool. And what is this? Stepped away from make some breakfast. Good morning, Go and Shogi, Rhonda H. Everybody. So yeah, Japan continues to get everything that I wish we could have here at the Walt Disney World Resort in the United States. I feel like the Oriental Land Company knows the Disney audience better than Bob Iger could ever hope to, or Bob Iger knows and he's just trying to change who the Disney audience is, which is a horrible idea. When you have 90 years of a built-in audience, why do you want to destroy that? Over the last 10, 15 years, they've been really, really trying to destroy the audience, and especially over the last 5. Oh my gosh. I don't know what Disney's been doing. See, I'm here because I love Disney and I want to make Disney Walt again. That's all. And I hope you guys are with me on that. Hopefully you guys love Disney too. I love going. I don't want to stop going. But I will eventually stop going if that's what it ends up taking to get the old Disney back. Epic's going to open next year, and I don't know how much interest I'm going to have at continuing to go to Disney World in 2025 and 2026, especially. 2025 and 2026 could be very well all about Epic Universe. Mr. Fulton Mraz is coming to the chat. Merry Christmas, Ron. I got a PlayStation 5 for Christmas this year, and I got a Sonic X and Shadow Generations new bike going to be on America's Got Talent February 21st, 2025. Very cool. Everybody tune in. Keep us posted, Mr. Fulton Mraz, on your America's Got Talent airing so that we can all watch and support you in that. We'd love to do that here. Congratulations on the new bike and everything else. My son got the Shadow X Generations, I believe, for his birthday from his Mimi, his grandma, and then also got a couple of older games from Santa Claus for Christmas. So very, very cool there. Let's get to our main story now, and that is, I want to make sure that I'm sharing the right thing. Yes. Why do I have this up twice? I don't really need it up twice. This is out of Behind the Thrills, and it is on X. And here is the post on X. Out of behind the thrills, Universal has filed plans with the SFWMD for Project 830, the removal and replacement of Rip Ride Rocket. So we're going to look at this real quick. All right, so here's the project location. Now, if you know Universal Orlando, it is, when you first walk through the door and go to the left, you see Rip Ride Rocket there. It is the queue for Rip Ride Rocket is adjacent to the concert stage area that they use for their Mardi Gras concerts, where they bring in artists. Who have I seen there? I've seen MC Hammer. I've seen Kelly Clarkson. I've seen a few people in the past. When I first moved here to Orlando, I always had a Universal pass because they were pretty cheap back then. They've gotten quite expensive now, and they're a little bit different in their structure of how they have you pay for them. But yeah, Dan's Life at the Kingdom says this. It's a great ride, but it's time. It's fun. It's down a lot. It has a lot of issues, and I think what they're going to do with Rip Ride Rocket, and this is smart. See, this is how a well-operating theme park does things when it comes to replacing old attractions. They don't look at an attraction and say, well, there's a tiny fraction percentage of the worldwide population, maybe out of the 8 billion people in the world, 3 people find the story of this problematic. So let's tear it down and build something new. That's how Disney operates. Okay. Disney says, 3 people in our accounting department really don't like the history of America, so we should tear down all of Frontierland and put up a dirt track for cars. So dumb. So dumb. Let's just call it what it is. Disney is dumb when it comes to how they are replacing things. Universal, on the other hand, says, we have this ride. It's popular. We put it in a Sharknado movie. It's fun, but we can do better. And yeah, so Native Hawaiian says, this is it, man. Not going to lie, after riding Rip Ride Rocket for 11 plus years, it is overdue. It is, and that's okay. And you know what? Universal's going to go, we're going to replace this, and we're going to put something actually better in its place. That's what they are doing. Now, Going Shogi says, if they end up putting in that Fast and Furious coaster, it's going to give Cosmic Rewind a run for its money. That thing looks insane in person. And what Going Shogi is talking about is a Fast and Furious roller coaster that's going into Universal Hollywood in California, not Universal Orlando. Now, it could be something very much like this because the current Fast and Furious representation in the Universal Orlando parks has not been that well received, is my understanding. So I get that they might do something a little bit different. But here is the project location. And here's the project description. Remove existing attraction and replace with proposed attraction. Now see how that works. See how simple that is? They're removing the existing roller coaster and replacing it with something better. Boom. Are there any wetland impacts? No, there is not. And there is the working area. Now, it's my understanding that, and I don't know where I saw it. It's bothered me because I couldn't find exactly where I saw it, but it looks like they were putting in a couple of new buildings as well in the New York City skyscape area. So this is going to be a little bit more extensive than this particular tweet or post talks about, but it is going to be interesting to see. If you're wondering what Rip Ride Rocket is, let me see if I can. Let's see if I can find it real quick in my photos. Oh, let's see. Rip. Ride. Rock. Oops. I'm going to see if I can bring it up. I have a picture of it from a long time ago, and I'm going to see if I can find it in my photos, just so you know what it is they're replacing. Who in the chat? Just if you've seen it, who in the chat has seen Sharknado 3, the one that took place at Universal Orlando? Let me know if you've seen that in the chat. It's kind of funny if you have, but I would love to know in the chat if you happen to have seen. If you happen to have seen Sharknado 3. Trying to bring up my photos. Some of these are from years and years ago. Come on now. Still not bringing all of them up. It's troll. Well, shucky darn. Let's see if I can find it over here. I might be able to find it real quick. All right. I bet I can find it now. Let's see. This goes back a long time ago to 2000. My gosh. Boy, was I in shape back then. Let's hope that I can get in that kind of shape again. 2010 was my year for getting in shape. And boy, do a great job. If I can repeat 2010 in 2025, 15 years later, it would be crazy. I hope so. Pray for me because I want to get that done. And I'm going to put this on the screen if it comes up. It's taking its sweet, sweet time to come up. And here it is. All right, so this is the Rip Ride rocket. This is from 2010. I took this picture. And yes, indeed. So the Fast and Furious coaster is going to be, it's like and Hollywood's like a mix between Velocicoaster and Cosmic Rewind. It's going to be bananas, and it's going to be outdoors from what I understand, right? It's not even an indoor ride. So you got one huge problem with it is location. It's in a literal wind tunnel and prone to valleying if the wind is blowing. Yes, it's that's the Rip Ride rocket. It's that's bad. So what happens when you first go on? By the way, and the load takes forever on this thing, but you go straight up that tower. Oh, and it's wild because you're facing straight up, you're facing the sky, and it's kind of scary because you don't know what's going to happen. And the last time I was on it, the bar didn't feel like it was closed all the way. It was locked, but I wasn't 100% sure that it was locked, and that scared me half to death. I held on for dear life. Universal had to make their own adjustments to the cars, track and operation standards over the years. Different from the manufacturer. Dylan Soup is in the chat. Ron, what's up, Chad? What's up, Dylan Soup? Good to see you in the house. We are talking about the death of the Rip Ride rocket. Rest in peace, or Rip Ride rocket, because you are going away. So if you do want to ride it, now is your last chance this year. We don't know when it's going to close, but my guess is it closes probably less than halfway through the year 2025 would be my guess if I had to guess. So that being the case, Get on it now if you want to ride. Rip to Rip Ride Rocket. Come to Epic Universe. See all the stuff there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a very, very interesting year. Well, folks, we have come to the end and the conclusion of our show. And while I didn't see any supers or memberships drops, that's okay because I still am very, very happy that you are here today. And I'm so grateful for you guys. Again, this is the first show back after Christmas, so I understand. And we will be doing regular shows next year, even on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Next week. So as we go through the week next week, we will be doing regular shows at the regular show time all next week. We might even be live on location from somewhere or another. Don't know. But look for other things coming up on the channel too, because I'm working on a lot right now. But before we say goodbye, we want to celebrate all of you for being the energon that helps this guy transform and roll out. So before we take off today, let's celebrate together. You guys ready to dance? You guys ready with your custom emojis and your member emojis and all that stuff? Let's rock it. Yay!
Too much? Too much? It's a perfect! Wahoo! Oh, this is too much. Give me a break. I couldn't be more excited. Okay, the anticipation is making me mental. But if they say yes to be on the show, I think I would go so crazy.
Indeed. Thank you guys so much for being here today. And we are going to let you go right over to Culture Casino. Again, pray for him because I know he is not feeling all that great. Thank you, Go and Shogi, for dropping this link for the merch store. New merch is coming. A lot of new merch will be coming. A lot of new designs will be coming in the year 2025. We got so much work to do. It's overwhelming, but that's okay because I have you guys that give me the energon to transform, roll out, and not be so overwhelmed because I'm thinking of you and for all that I do. I appreciate you being here. You're the juice, you're the energon, you're the gigawatts, you're all of those things. Thank you so much. And, keep looking at the channel for over the weekend because there's going to be some things that go on over the weekend on the channel and for shorts and all of those types of things. And be here Monday for the next week of the Daily Dish. And until then, we'll send you over to Culture. Let them know you're rating in from Follow the Bradley's Fun, and we will see you real soon. Bye, everybody. Ciao.